Story time! Story time! Story time!
Story time! Story time! Story time!
So, my name is Unicycle Dan. That's my pan. That's my steed. And this is me. So, I want to tell a story to you all today. But first, I'm going to need one volunteer who likes to learn. You ready to volunteer? All right. I'll need you to stand here by the unicycle until it's time for you to learn today. And then I'm going to need we're going to need 3 vegetables, if anyone has vegetables.
We have
If the
vegetables.
vegetables happen to be destroyed, I will refund you the cost of them and or purchase you new ones immediately. This bean has been offered up as a sacrifice to the Juggling storytelling time. Would you guys like to donate one small large vegetable? I will be happy to refund the cost of any vegetables
You're
that
the
are
one that has
destroyed.
hands.
Perfect. No, fingerling potato and a cucumber. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the pan for later. But now we are ready for our story. And our story today, could you introduce yourself to us, by the way? Taylor. And Taylor, for this story today, wait, Taylin or Taylor? Taylin, I'm sorry. Taylin, for this story today, I'm going to need you to pretend, just for the sake of the audience here, I need you to pretend that you do not know how to juggle. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Do you know how to juggle? See how good she is at pretending. It's amazing. All right. So for right now, if you could stand there, there will be a time when I'm asking you for your help in demonstrating someone who does not yet know how to juggle. So are you ready for that? All right. I will let you know when the time comes. And for the rest of you, this is the story of Lisa the Learner. Lisa the Learner will be partially played by Taylin today. Now, Lisa the Learner absolutely loved to learn. She loved to learn about everything in the world. What are some things she loved to learn about? Any ideas? What she loved to learn about?
Juggling.
She loved to learn about juggling. She loved to learn about what else? What's something you love to learn about?
School.
She loved to learn about school. She loved to learn about, what else? Reading. She loved to learn about reading. She loved to learn about juggling. She loved to learn about school. But most of all, she loved to learn how to do new things. So Lisa the Learner had spent all summer reading and learning all sorts of things. She was reading about juggling. She was reading about schools. She was reading about reading. But by the time she had gotten a couple months into summer, you know what happened? She was bored. She was bored and she wanted to learn to do something new. So she was sitting around one day thinking, what can I learn to do? When she decided that she would go to the market and see what was going on there. So she walked up to the market and all of a sudden she saw in the middle of the market a master juggler. She knew that the master juggler was a master juggler because not only could he juggle 3 objects, but he could do it with his eyes closed. He could do it a little better than that even. So he couldn't do it for very long because even a master juggler can't do it for too long. But Lisa the Learner came up to the master juggler and said, I want to learn juggling. Can you do that? Awesome, said the master juggler. But the thing you need to know about juggling is there are things that I can show you, but you're going to have to teach yourself. To begin, Show me what you know. And Lisa the learner had never juggled before in her life. So she attempted to juggle 3 balls, but she didn't know how. Go ahead and try. Just throw them all up in the air. Excellent. She didn't know how to juggle. And so she said to the master juggler, I can't do it. And the master juggler said, yet. Because any skill that we want to learn, we can learn. Even if we can't do it, we can't do it yet. So anytime someone in this story says, I can't do it, or she couldn't do it, I want you guys to help me out by adding in that word, yet. So, if somebody says, I can't do it,
Yet.
if they say, or if I say, she couldn't do it,
Yet.
all right, she couldn't do it yet. She had not practiced enough yet, and we learn by practicing. So, in order to make her feel better, and to show her the first step of juggling, the master juggler handed her just one of the balls and said, do what I do. He threw one ball in the air. Excellent. This is the first step of juggling, is to throw one ball up in the air and not catch it. So, pretty quickly, Lisa the learner had learned that first skill that she was already so good at. And so she picked up the ball from the ground. And the master juggler said, now, I need you to throw that ball from one hand to the other. Good. But there's a special way in juggling that we need to learn in order to juggle, to throw and to catch. There are 2 places for our hands, the outside and the inside. Everybody show me the outside. This, and everybody show me the inside. This. Now the people who are on the inside of our audience, so right around in here, you guys will be the inside people. Remember that in just a second. Everybody over here and over here will be the outside people. So if I say something like, throw on the inside and catch on the outside, I need the people in the middle to say that with me. For the inside. Throw on the inside.
Throw on the inside.
All right, let's try it once more all together. Throw it on the
Inside.
and the people on the outside. Catch it on the
Outside.
So, our pattern is this. We throw it on the inside, catch it on the outside. Say it with me. Throw it on the
Inside.
catch it on the
Outside.
throw it on the
Inside.
catch it on the
Outside.
throw it on the catch it on the
Outside.
all right, you got it. And so Lisa the learner practiced that very skill. Throwing it on the
Cool. Inside. Outside.
catching it on the throwing it on the catching it on the and so as soon as she had demonstrated that she knew how to do that, the master juggler brought out another ball. He said, now I'm going to teach you the final skill that you need to learn in order to teach yourself to juggle. And he placed the 2 balls on the outside. He brought one to the inside and threw it to the
Outside.
caught it on the threw this ball on the
Outside.
side. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Throw it on the catch it on the
Outside.
now here's the difficult part. You have to switch it over in the middle. Throw it on the throw it on the you have to throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it. Just like that. Can you try it? Try it. Yeah, one more try. Right, try to throw the red one up a little higher. Supposed to go up. Just like that, said the master juggler. And now, Lisa the learner was ready to go practice. So the juggler handed her a third ball and said, "Take these 3 balls, return them to me in a month with the skills to juggle any 3 objects. If you do not do this, I will chop off your hand." Just kidding. He didn't say that. He didn't say that, but he was just kidding. Because it's just juggling. It's okay if you drop them. It's okay if you don't figure it out in a month. But he did say, return the balls to me in a month and show me what you've learned. So Lisa the learner took the balls back to her house. And she said, you know what? I figured out this 1 ball thing. I figured out the 2 ball thing. I'm just going to go for 3. So she tried it. And she threw them all up in the air. But she couldn't do it
Yet.
yet. She couldn't do it yet. But she was determined. So she picked them up again. And she threw them in the air again. But she couldn't do it
Yet.
And she picks them up a 3rd time. She threw them in the air. But she couldn't do it.
Yet.
So, Lisa the learner was very frustrated, but she was very determined. For the first 2 weeks of the month that she had to learn to juggle. For the first 2 weeks of the month that she had to learn to juggle, she picked up the 3 balls and she threw them in the air. And they fell. And she picked them up and she threw them. And they fell. And every day she would do this same thing. But it still wasn't working and she couldn't do it.
Yet.
So, Lisa the learner finally remembered that she could start with 1 ball. So she dropped 2 of the balls on the ground, held 1 in her hand, and she didn't even worry about catching it. She picked it up, she threw it, she let it fall. And she realized that this was the first step of juggling, and that she had already mastered the first step. So she picked the ball up again, and she practiced throwing and catching 1 ball until she was very good at that. Then she practiced throwing and catching 2 balls until she was very good at that. And for the final 2 weeks, every day, first she would practice the easy thing, then she would practice the medium thing, then she would practice a harder thing until finally she was ready to juggle 3 balls at the end of the month. It's alright, I won't make you do it right. Do you have one of those back? Thank you. You can hold on to those 2 for now. So, she came back to the master juggler and demonstrated her juggling skills, which looked a little more like this. In fact, she could juggle 3 balls. And the master juggler turned to her and said, now that you can juggle balls, can you juggle vegetables or vegetables? So he handed her 3 vegetables. She wasn't quite sure what to do, but she realized that any 3 objects fall using the same gravity, so they work a lot like balls. And time seems to slow down as she began to juggle. So right now, I am going to pretend to be gravity so we can slow it down. And then we just juggle in slow motion, okay? So she threw the fingerling potato from the, throw it on the inside. And she threw the cucumber on the inside. She caught it on the
Outside.
and she threw the green bean on the
Inside.
side. And she began to juggle
Yay.
these 3 vegetables. And she said, yes, I'm a master juggler now, right?
Yay!
Yay!
And the master juggler said, not quite. Mastery takes many years. And in juggling, as in life, there is always something new to learn. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
And thank Kaylin. Thank you very much, Kaylin, for being Lisa the Learner today.